Hi, I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Financial Juneteenth, where we break the chains of economic slavery. And you know that I'm really big on people that are working to get off the plantation and go and venture out on their own and build their own stuff. And this young lady that I'm speaking with today, she's done that. She left corporate America. She worked for a bank. She decided she wanted to do something different, and she did. And her name is Miss Dominique Dixon. She is the founder of YHA Entertainment, which stands for Young Hollywood Atlanta. It also, under that umbrella, is Elite Magazine. And first, I want to say hello to Miss Dixon. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing really well, really well. Very nice to meet you. Now, you had reached out because you and I have a mutual acquaintance that we both respect, the rapper D1, who is in New Orleans trying to single-handedly take on the entire hip-hop industry, which I love about that guy. I love the fact that he's doing his thing. He's not afraid to do it. I think a lot of us should feel that way. And you're doing your thing, too. Now, your company, YHA Entertainment, first I guess I'll start by asking you, so tell me about Young Hollywood Atlanta Entertainment and the kinds of things you guys do.
Young Hollywood Atlanta Entertainment is bringing good living, good entertainment, and great wisdom. It's that simple. We're making entertainment fun again. We're making entertainment a learning process because you could be entertained but still learn something. So we're bringing back entertainment in a sense. Entertainment has lost its salt. And I'm not afraid to say that it has. It's become very dry, very soulless. And we're trying to bring back the world where people want to watch television. They want to read again. They want to listen to music. They want to feel comforted by entertainment and not looked down upon. So that's what we're doing. That's what we're about. Fun, art, creativity, and a better life.
Well, I like that. I agree with you. I think that, sometimes things they lose their soul when they become very corporate. I just read an article today by a professor who was analyzing, she used to write for Essence magazine, and she talks about what it was like working for Essence when they were taken over by Time Warner. And she said, Time Warner understands very well how to analyze an audience and deliver what the audience wants to see and to sell magazines. She said, but they don't understand how to make sure a magazine maintains its soul. She said, Essence for black women was not just a magazine. It was a religion, and they didn't know how to really sell religion. And so, effectively, I think you're right. I think that with music, because it's become so corporatized, it's like, okay, let's put out a song exactly like the last 5 we put out,
Yes.
because we know that it's going to sell this much and we're going to make our profit, and that's what it's all about. I mean, that becomes the driving engine behind a lot of entertainment, is profit. So it seems that the most soulful music a lot of times is the music that's created without the profit motive being primary. Maybe making money is there, but it's not the big reason. But that corporate stuff, it just seems like it's out of a machine. Now, speaking of religion, now you said that your faith led you to make a transition in terms of how you did business and what you wanted your brand and your magazine to represent. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Sure. That question took me by surprise. I am a Christian. I just came into salvation, and it didn't lead me to the gospel realm. It actually led me to mainstream. I'm a person that believes in prayer, speaking to God, reading the Bible. And what he told me, like he's telling several other new leaders that's coming up, is to make things about living life again. To make things about touching lives and changing lives for the better. Right now, everything is degrading, especially to an African American woman. So he's showing me it's time to step up and be a leader, the leader that I called you to be. And for most people, they take Christianity out of context and make it about something that it isn't. But I've come to redefine that for people. That's a very strong statement. So,
No. I think that's a great statement. And I smiled and laughed when you said that, because you're right. I think a lot of people have a certain perception of Christianity, and I have to say, for full disclosure, I have my own view of a higher power. I don't go to church. My dad is a Baptist minister, and he probably would think that's, I know he doesn't like the fact that I don't go, but here's the thing, even when I wasn't necessarily completely connected or completely in the church, because I understood the church, I had a respect for the church and an understanding of the diversity of the church. And so when you hear people who've never been anywhere near the church kind of say these things that just aren't true, or maybe I think overly simplify the reasons that people go to church every Sunday. You know, oh, they just want to go there and get pimped by the pastor, or oh, they just want to go there and be homophobic, or just things, things that you hear in media. It offends me because I think it's I think it's important that, look, if you don't really understand what's kind of happening in the church, you really shouldn't say much about it. And I think it's interesting that you live in Atlanta, because that's kind of a hotbed for that issue right now, from what I understand.
Yes.
You had the fire chief that was just released over some issues where some people say he was being homophobic, some people say he was just exercising his Christian values. But what is clearly undeniable is that the man was clearly qualified for the job. I mean, he was one of the greatest fire chiefs in the entire country. Obama had elected him, and so I think a lot of people were rightly offended that he was being classified or shaped to be something that it doesn't appear that he was. And I didn't mean to go off on that tangent on Christianity, but I think that's important, because what I like is that you mentioned that your moral grounding, which I don't think you have to be a Christian to have a moral grounding, right? We know that. Your moral grounding, your moral compass is what drove you in terms of understanding what music does to the soul. What music can do to a person's self-esteem, to a little girl's self-esteem, right? You hear the words, the B's and the H's coming out of the artist's mouths, like nothing, and it's fascinating to me, because we've actually, unfortunately, the industry seems to have trained an entire generation of young people to be completely desensitized to that. So I have to, as a father, explain to my little girls, like, you're not a bitch, you're not a hoe. Like, that's not the name I gave you. That's not the name any man should give you. But it really becomes an uphill battle. So in terms of how the industry is looking at its relationship with black women, who in many cases are the most loyal consumers of these artists. That's the paradox, right? The black female demographic is that's the best demographic that there is in terms of brand loyalty, spending power. Black women got a whole lot of money, and they love their favorite artists, even when they're saying these hoes ain't loyal and all these other things. So how do you balance? I mean, how do you respect the collective of black women and their right to choose what they want to listen to, while at the same time saying, look, black men should not be speaking to you this way? How do you draw that balance?
What I realize is what's going on, because being 28 years old and coming up in the midst of gangster rap, that's when gangster rap was birthed. You're kind of like, well, that's not me, and I can understand the metaphor, but at the same time, do you really understand the metaphor? Because it gets down in you, and the seeds that's being planted to where we have less women that want to be strong, empowered, and faithful. We have a little bit more women that's kind of giving their goods to anyone. We have a lot of stuff that's actually going on. So what I'm learning is we don't know that we need something different until we hear it. When you're coming up in a society where we're not the LL Cool J generation. We don't know anything about that. We are the Bootsy Badass. We are the Gucci Mane. We are the Master P's. We are the T.I. And it's funny to see these people kind of go through and mess things up, and now they're off having their family, but yet this generation is trying to get their head together, because being real honest, most people don't listen to their parents. They listen to mainstream rappers. So we have to get women back to a place of knowing that this is not a place to be catty. This is not a place to hate each other. This is not a place to look down on each other. If somebody don't have a Gucci person, you do. You don't belittle them. Nikki says, she keeps wet wipes in case a bum try to touch her. We don't supposed to be that type of people. That's not who we are. But we're doing these things, and we're doing it to each other. So in my perspective, yes, we're going out and buying these things, and we're buying it because right now we like abuse. We like abusing ourselves.
Wow, we like abuse. That's that's three little words, but it's a very heavy statement you just made. And and I was afraid to ask your age. I was told you never ask a lady her age, so I'm glad you told me. You volunteered to tell me you're 28, and that helps me understand the just that age group. And as a 43-year-old man, it's like I have to actually remind myself, oh, that's right. many young women never grew up hearing music where
Mm-hmm.
men are, are showing respect to women, serenading women. If you listen to old school stuff, it was still about trying to get the sex. Let's just be real. I mean, the men were always
Yeah.
trying to get some love, but it came with an offering of respect. It was, I will, glorify you. I will celebrate your beauty. You are the most wonderful thing I've ever seen. I will love you forever. And so for me as a man seeing that transition, it's amazing to see that, when I listen to the lyrics, and I listen with a critical eye to everything I absorb, because entertainment controls your mind. You really have to make sure you think critically. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
sitting there thinking, I'm like, wow, this guy literally just said, I just met you, and all I want from you is sex. And after I get done with you, I'm not gonna want nothing else from you, and
Correct.
and you're gonna like that, And in fact, actually, I hope you don't mind if I keep it a little bit real right here, because I want to lay something
Oh,
out, a lyric that I think it should shock people a little bit, but I'm not doing it just for shock value. I'm doing it as kind of a teaching moment to kind of think about just how deep the brainwashing can go. Okay, and you're
yes.
you're you're into hip hop, so you've heard it all, I'm sure. I remember there was a song in Lil Wayne's one of Lil Wayne's songs, or one of his albums, where, and I've said this lyric before, but I'm gonna say it again because I think it's important to kind of understand this is what our little girls are kind of absorbing and just trained to look past. And the lyric was something like, "I'll steal your girl, I'll make her nut for me, then slut for me, then steal from me and kill for me, and of course it'll be yo cash, and then I'll murder that bitch and send her body back to yo ass." Now,
Oof.
now, think about
Satanic.
this. Think about this, right?
It's
You've
satanic.
you've literally said on a lyric that you are going to rape and murder somebody. That I'm going to take your girlfriend and turn her into a hooker and make her steal,
Yep.
make her into this, make her into something that her father wouldn't want her to be, and then
Completely.
I'm going to murder her and send her body back to you. And so we should be appalled at the idea that a million women will go into an arena and cheer for this man who's basically telling millions of black men that this is how you treat a woman. Because
Correct.
and that's the thing I think people don't understand. And I'm going to shut up and let you get in and talk about this, because this is all about you. It's not about me. I'm sorry. I just
No, it's good.
I am passionate about this. But
Yes.
but what people have to understand is that when you look at, say, let's say you take a Lil Wayne. I'm not just picking on him. There are other guys out there that are doing this kind of thing,
Hmm.
and he's being observed by everybody. He's being observed by white people and black people and people around the world. He's being observed by males and females. So if you talk specifically about males and females, a lot of women might be attracted to him because he's got money and power and success and all the things that we're led to believe should be important in a man other than his character. But then the males are observing the fact that, hey, wait a minute, this guy, you know how they used to say about the guys like Idris Elba, or even going back to Shaft, every girl wants to be with him, every guy wants to be like him. So the
Yes.
males are saying, oh my God, he just said he wants to rape and murder women, and they're cheering for him. They like
Uh-huh.
this. They want to sleep with him now because he's keeping it so real. So what people don't understand is that this training that people are observing, that affects how a 15, 16-year-old boy then
It's
approaches women, because he says, wait a minute, I'm not going to get a woman's attention by being nice to her. I'm not going to get a woman's
correct.
attention by celebrating her and
Her.
glorifying her and elevating her and exalting her. I'm going to get her attention by treating her like the dirtiest piece of crap that ever walked the face of
Yes.
the earth, and she's going to like that.
Yes.
So given that I've said this, can you kind of give me your take on what I just said here, because I didn't mean to talk so long, but it just all kind of came
You're
to my mind.
fine. What's going on is, and you see it in every day. You have women that's now accepting anything. They're accepting anything because we have made sacrilegion, if that's the correct word, and those things normal. We've made it normal for the African American community. It's normal if your man or your husband or your boyfriend is all sleeping with all these different women, long as he don't tell me about it type attitude. That's not normal. That's not raising healthy children. That's not a healthy environment to your emotions or to your soul. But we have to understand what's at the forefront of our community: hip hop, entertainment, all this other stuff. Like you said, people aren't rushing into churches and getting the word and getting the truth. They're not reading their Bibles, nor do they care or know how to personalize it. All they're hearing is passed down things from the grapevine, and they're taking that stuff in and they're processing as, well, being less than great is normal. That's what it is. It's like if you don't dumb yourself down, you're not cool anymore. If you don't become a thug, or if you're not a busset baby, you get no shine. And we have to remove that completely, for the safety of our children and for the safety of our adults. Because people are accepting this as this is a way of life, when that is the only way to death. Little Wayne and them are dead and they know it. So, okay, so why can't I drag everybody else to hell with me? We don't look at it like that. We look at it as, oh, it's just entertainment. Don't worry about it. No, when I walk outside my home and I see a well-intelligent young African-American man yelling at his girl that just got off the bus, hey, bitch, come here. And he's looking like this is okay. You have to say, when do we pump the brakes and realize we done got past the metaphor?
Wow. Well, you said a couple profound, quite a few things that are very interesting, but a couple things that really stuck with me. One is when you mentioned, you said we like abuse. I want to still think about that because that's so interesting. And then you said, when you mentioned that guys like that are just dead, and I think you're right in that there is such a thing as a spiritual death. Where you just are, you are the walking dead.
You're the walking dead. You're not there anymore.
Right.
You can look at Baby, and I'm not afraid to say this. I know this is going to go national and globally. You can look at Baby. Baby's not there. It's a body. So this body that got all this stuff passing through it, you think he cares about what you hearing? No. He can care less about you and your feelings. Why? Because I'm going to hell and I'm dragging you with me. I mean, that's the only reason they're putting out this toxic stuff. The stuff is toxic. And only people that don't care about themselves can get to a place where they're doing what they're doing. I mean, look at what they're doing. Look at what's coming out of that camp. So now you have a whole bunch of people in a zombie effect that's following this stuff as if, yeah, they're keeping it real. No, they're not keeping it real. They're keeping it real gutter. And if you're trying to go someplace different, you might really don't need to listen to them.
Wow. Well, I think that's an interesting analogy you made. It's funny that you said the word zombie because that was already, the word zombie was literally the next word that's going to come out of my mouth because, because you can compare it to that, right? You think about zombies as these creatures where their brains have just been rotted. And, what I really see is, not just the music in terms of how it's rotted our minds, because we worship the dollar bill so much that we think anything is acceptable as long as somebody's getting paid. Right. And you have to be trained to think that way. I mean, you're not born that way. There's a brainwashing process. And then, in general, just kind of, just thinking, about just what music does to the subconscious of our kids, thinking about the individuals that are doing this. I don't think anybody can make the argument that any of this is healthy or that it's good for you. I think the only two things people are able to really say is either A, they don't think it has that much of an effect on people, or
which is a lie.
Which is an absolute lie, or B, or B, they just don't care, right? And I think that's pretty much where we are right now, and it almost seems like it's becoming almost a little bit like a black civil war, where you've got the zombies and those who support the nonsense, and then you got those who are waking up, who are conscious and saying, wait a minute, maybe it's not healthy if we're teaching our kids to kill each other and have sex with every girl in the world. And we're singing and dancing to the beat of our own genocide. Absolutely.
It's really genocide. I confirm that and affirm that it's genocide. Most people don't realize this stuff is killing a people. So you have to be careful on what's leading, because that anti-Christ movement comes in different forms, and we don't even know we were under it for as long as we have been. So to see, we have to give them a replacement, which we're doing with D1, Lecrae, Slim Diesel, Andy Mineo. It's a lot of phenomenal, Kent Jones. It's a lot of phenomenal guys. Immortal Technique. You mentioned him. That's right. You love him.
Love that guy.
We have a lot of guys, and more females are going to come to the forefront. That's going to be heavy spitters and just get it back to where hip hop's supposed to be. This is one thing I hardcore believe. Mr. Carvin Higgins said it best. He's the leader of Rage Against the Ratchet. I did an interview with him. We have to give them a replacement, and hip hop was supposed to teach. Yes, it's supposed to be entertaining because we could still have fun with it, but it was here to teach a people. Now, when you let Satan get a hold of something that's supposed to teach and grow a people, because we know our people don't like to read. Come on now. We don't like to read. Okay, so we know that music is communication, one of the fastest means of communication. So you put that in the wrong hands, and now you got the devil being communicated. Now we're killing each other. We beating on each other. There's no sense of peace. Music used to create a calm environment. And I feel like, and this is another strong statement, I feel like rap has yet to be defined. Um, because Easy E and all them, they were gangbangers. Let's keep it real. You can't learn much from a gangbanger, but how to be a successful gangbanger. Like, so it's kind of like, what are we teaching? So to have more educated guys, and even some guys that didn't go to college but are sound minded and sound spirited, come to the forefront and take this thing to where it's supposed to be, is really what's happening, and is happening right now. The transition is not going to be easy. They're not going to go peacefully, because that's how they make their money as well. But they have to get out, and it's time.
Well, I agree. I think people are figuring it out, and and it's funny, to your point about the impact of music. I remember when I did get a chance to talk to D1. He made I appreciate his bravery, and the reason is because he's got to that level in the industry now where every big shot is trying to be your friend, and you have relationships you have to maintain, but he's not afraid to ruin those relationships for the sake of principle.
Yes.
And which is why it's so important that people support artists that are going against the grain, because it's not easy when you get out there and you got these big shots calling your phone and saying, "Hey, why did you say that about me?" or "Why won't you just go along with the program and be quiet?" There's a lot of pressure. I mean, if it wasn't for the people that support me, I wouldn't have no friends, because I've lost a dozen or more friends. I'm talking about big shot people that really could have put me on, helped me make a ton of money, because I just had to say, no, man, I'm not going to support that. That's coonery, right? And so the pressure is huge. So that's why I support D1, because he's getting in the stratosphere where the heat is hot, and he's handling very well. Now you have an artist that you love to talk about by the name of Slim Diesel, and it's spelled DZL. Tell me all about Slim Diesel, and I want people to know where they can go to hear this brother.
Well, his album is out, called All of Me. It's now on CD Baby, so they can go there and check him out. And I have one better for you, Dr. Watkins. How about you talk to him yourself?
Okay, absolutely. You know what? I would love to talk to Slim Diesel.
Hold on, here's Slim Diesel. I'm going to switch.
Oh, he's here. Okay.
Hello?
There he is.
Hey, brother, what a surprise. How you doing, man?
I'm good. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. We've never had a switch up on a Skype before, but you know what? there's a first time for everything. So you were sitting there listening the whole time?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Oh, okay. So tell me. Tell me what you think about the conversation.
I think the conversation was interesting. I think it's exactly what I represent and what YHA represents. And I love people like, I listen to D1, Lecrae, people that are afraid to go against, people that are not afraid to go against the grain to get the positive message out there. Hip hop needs positive influences so these young people can understand that your story matters and it's okay to do the right thing. I see too many people that think that the only way they can be accepted is doing the wrong thing. Positive hip-hop, clean hip-hop is just hip-hop with good morals. It's okay to be faithful to your girlfriend or be faithful to your wife. It's okay not to go to the strip club. It's okay to put down the drugs. It's okay not to get drunk. It's okay not to disrespect people. It's okay not to shoot people. And you can still tell your story without all of that. And that's what clean hip-hop is.
Wow. Well, I love it. So let me ask you this. I've heard some artists kind of say they don't, and I agree with this actually. I understand where they're coming from. That they don't like any sort of labeling. As he's a positive artist, or he's a Christian artist, because it seems like it kind of limits their ability to really be artists. Because artistic expression is about being able to say what's on your heart and on your mind. And sometimes the violence may come out because you're representing some genuine human emotion, which I actually support that in certain contexts, because then you're being human. You're not being a corporate machine, right? Because it's one thing if I say, you know what, when my brother got shot, I was so mad I wanted to go shoot somebody because of that. that's one thing because I'm
That's
expressing
one
something
thing.
real
Yes.
versus a corporation saying, okay, I want you to, in the lyric, I want you to talk about shooting another black man and how much
Absolutely.
fun that
Yes.
would be. Can you talk about the difference between creative expression versus that that corporate expression, and what you're doing as an artist to kind of combat that?
It's simple. I have no problem with people being honest about who they are. What I care about is the people that are not being honest. Like you say, if you think that the only way you're going to sell records is to lie and say, shoot this, kill this, pop this, and do that, that's what I have a problem with. That's corporate telling you what to say. That's not who you really are. Some people are just being honest about their life in music because music is in how you express who you are. And the problem I have with it is sometimes is younger people listen to these people that are faking it, that are acting like they're shooting it and doing all of this, and that's what they think that they need to do to get their story out. So that's what I have the problem with. I have a problem. You're supposed to be honest and express your true story about who you really are.
Interesting. Well, I'm gonna make a quick statement. I want to get your take on this. One of the things I've noticed is that because I studied business a lot, and so to me, whenever I see anything happen, I'm always looking at the business model. Whether and I encourage other people to do the same thing. It helps you understand things better. Like if you want to understand prisons, understand the money that flows, and that'll tell you what the incentives
Absolutely.
are. If you want to understand hip hop, look at the business model. Ask yourself who's really getting paid off of this. If I put out entertainment with a black face on it, you don't pay attention to the puppet. Look at the puppet master.
Exactly.
That's what you're responding to. So here's one thing I observed, brother, and I want to get your take on this. I noticed that my theory was that within like 60 seconds of a lot of at least say half of the songs we hear on the radio, and I think it's important to distinguish corporate music versus music from the soul. Like your stuff, I don't see your stuff as corporate music. I see your stuff as real. Basically, it seems that within 60 seconds I hear, and most of the time, one of these things, either a reference to something about a gun, pop pop, like the Bobby Shmurda type thing, something referencing irresponsible sex, which is a problem, particularly since if you talk about in Atlanta with the HIV problem going out of control, and not just HIV but all the other STDs that are out there. I hear something about getting money. Like I'm defined as a black man by how much money I got, and wearing Louis and Gucci and all these European brands that don't hire black people. I'm gonna hear something about disrespecting women. Women are not gonna be beautiful. They're not gonna be queens. They're gonna be bitches, hoes, all these other ridiculous things that people say. I'm gonna hear something maybe that glorifies some kind of ignorance. I'm almost always gonna hear some reference to drugs and alcohol. Right?
Yeah.
I was sloppy drunk at the club. I got the keys to my car. Da 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 da. And in my experience, I've never really seen anybody succeed in life when they are packing a gun, sleeping with everything that moves, making babies everywhere, wasting their money on European brands, getting high and drunk anytime that they can, and remaining ignorant. Can you talk about that? And talk a little bit about your music as well, and kind of how your message shifts away from some of that.
Got you. It's an illusion when you look at some of these rappers that talk about what you just talked about. You think that they're excited and they're living a life. Really, it's like you sold your soul. You have all of these riches, but you lost your soul to get it. So it's an illusion that it looks like they're on top of the world, but really they're not. If you got to talk about all of this stuff just to get to acquire success, then it's an illusion that people think that they have made it when you really did not make it. Right. Music from the soul is being honest, and you are taking the time out to pursue a message for the people. So you don't chase money, you chase your purpose. People are chasing money and not the purpose. The purpose is, what is your music going to do for the listener? What do you want the listener to take from your music? So if you want the listener to go out and just do destruction all day, then that's what you're doing. That's how you lose your soul. Well, my music is, I want people to listen to Slim Diesel and get back in school, get back in church, go to the gym. I always say, don't join the local game, join the local gym or the local church. So my music comes from the soul because it's honesty. I'm really unfaithful to my wife. I really do take care of my 5 kids. I really do work at a warehouse that I have a hard time with. But at the same time, okay, but I am making music not for the dollar, for the message. The money will come when you're skilled at your purpose.
All right. Well, I love it. Well, you know what? Since Dominique threw me off by dropping a surprise on me, which I appreciate, I'm gonna drop a surprise on you. I'm gonna ask you a question. All right. Do you have like a favorite verse that you could just spit off the dome, like right here?
That eternity.
I can say, I fell back, they fell off. Martin Lawrence wouldn't tell all. One thing about my God, he always come through like mail call. I'm the Holy Ghost of the Holy Grail. I'm Sonic, you only tales when God spoke these hard quotes. I was meditating in a lonely cell. And 190, you bony frail. I press on like phony nails. I did push-ups in a lake of fire, sweating like this is only hell. Bully, punch, shove, kick, stuffed inside them lockers. Off my rockers, but my eyesight's binoculars. See, I thought greater, fought haters, minor life, but I thought major. I'm a king as I walk my Queen Bridge, call mega, multi before I die, hardcore in a bow tie, low cut with a pretty face and a bad wife, no lie, still.
Ooh, man, ooh, you said it all. Okay, I want everybody to know right now, I'm about to go buy this album. As soon as we get done, I'm gonna go buy this, man. And I hope everybody listening will do the same thing. Yeah. That was fire, man. That was off the chain, brother. And I love it. I love the fact that you were able to just spit it out, and you did a great job with that, man. And I love your music already, and I'm definitely gonna get it. And people, just so people know, I really do listen to the stuff I buy. I don't just pretend. So thank you, man. Thank you so much for joining us. This was a great and very pleasant surprise. I really appreciate that time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Doc, and God bless you.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
God bless you too, man.
Oh, well, thank you very much, and God bless both of you. And I want everybody to know this is the rapper Slim Diesel. That's
DZL, Slim Diesel.
Yes. All right, Slim.
At the Real Slim D. You can follow me on Twitter at the Real Slim Diesel. Follow me on SoundCloud at the Real Slim Diesel. My music goes on iTunes, cdbaby.com. And we're just putting music out, man, for the public, man. We want to speak to people. We want to change the world, man.
I love it. All right, everybody, make sure you go follow Slim Diesel. And also, Ms. Dominique Dixon, she's the CEO of YHA Entertainment, which also owns Elite Magazine. And what's your website, Dominique?
It is younghollywoodatlanta.com. Okay. And when you look up Elite Magazine, it's Elite Magazine by YHA.
Okay.
So we got to hit the by YHA, but Doctor, I know this is the first of many of our encounters, so I can't wait to see you again.
Yes, well, you know, we I know a few artists in Atlanta and a few people, and I know that we're going to do some summits and stuff in Atlanta, so I'm going to invite you guys, and I appreciate everything you guys are doing, and so this was a pleasant interview. I really enjoyed the conversation, and I love what you're doing. It's great to talk to a fellow soldier, both of them.
Yes. And God bless. Talk to you soon.
Bless you too. All right. And everybody, I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Financial Juneteenth. And I hope you enjoyed the interview as much as I did, because I had a blast, especially that little spit at the end. Oh, my gosh. I broke a sweat. I said, man, this guy's actually good. I don't have to lie. I don't have to lie and say he's good.
Yes, we're coming. It's going to be so fun. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. You take care, and I will talk to you soon. All right.
Bye-bye.